Sparkles of Gold here. I'm going to make a quick video talking about this total lunar eclipse that happens in Scorpio. I have a podcast I published this week with Gray Crawford and Bradley Narragon where we talk about this. It's actually on my YouTube channel too. It's just audio only. But I wanted to show you a couple charts here. And part of this is for some of you looking for information. To be honest, I know this is a hard one for many. And I want to make a connection for you, maybe give you some tips to help you in the next 48 hours if you're watching this, so you can make sense of this. And this is coming from a personal place too, because this one's directly hitting me in my chart in a certain way. So I have some insights, and I've been thinking about this all week, and I had some new things pop up. So I'm going to show you something here in this chart. Here, and let me turn this on here. Right here is the 25-degree Scorpio moon. It's a full moon, so the moon's opposite the sun. It's at 25 degrees, okay? It's conjunct the south node in Scorpio, which is making this a lot harder. Basically, we have a purging story here in endings. And this has been brewing for a while, and it's connected to an eclipse that happened in November. I think it's the 17th of last year. And that is a thread. So here we are 6 months later. This is also connected to the new moon that happened, the new moon eclipse that happened 2 weeks ago in Taurus, and that was at 10 degrees. Now, right here is the sun at 25 degrees. Here is Uranus at 15, so it's a player in this. It's shaking things up. It's rattling what needs to be, what is old and not useful anymore. It's revolutionary. It's electric. It wants to crumble something that's not working anymore. Pluto works in a different story. Uranus is like a lightning, electric, revolutionary energy. It's rebellious and it's unpredictable. Here is ALGOL, a fixed star at 26 degrees. Now, some people aren't talking about this and some people are, and it's scary. Because ALGOL in the fixed star lore is violence and hurt and pain. It's hardcore stuff. Now, that doesn't mean that's going to happen to you, but it's representative of the intensity here. And you could also, if one were to look at it a different way, think about the type of elimination that's happening, the elimination energy. That, along with the Scorpio moon, is an eliminating type of eclipse. Now, I could talk about Saturn in Aquarius that's part of squaring this, that's wanting to put a hold on things, and you can hear the helicopter in the background. That's what I deal with all the time. Anyway, Saturn in Aquarius is part of this story, squaring the nodes. It's a limiter. It's cold. It wants to slow things down. So there's a feeling of movement and endings, but Saturn is kind of anchoring this, and it's kind of a slow moving and slow ending. Now the ruler of this eclipse, we go look to the ruler of Scorpio, which is Mars, right here in Pisces, conjunct Neptune. Now, major factor, ruling this. And you either have Mars and Neptune in Aquarius as something completely delusional, lies, deceit, things that aren't real, things that aren't truthful. The beautiful side of this is a creative, clean way of processing all this energy. And I stick to that end of things because Mars conjunct Neptune in Pisces is making a harmonious aspect to this eclipse. So it's a little bit of a window, a little bit of a way of there's some healing mechanism going on here, and there can be if it is used in a creative, loving, heartfelt, pure way. But if it isn't, this Mars Neptune can be deceitful, delusional, dissolving, weird. Like it just depends on you and your situation, okay? One more thing before I show you the next chart. Here's Venus in Aries and Chiron the Wounded Healer in Aries, and they're involved in this too. And Venus rules Taurus, so it's part of this, and it rules the North Node. So Venus and Mars are part of this story, okay? So it's, again, a relational thing, things ending in relational things, depending on where Scorpio and Taurus is in your chart. That's the focal point. If they're hitting, you have things specifically at these degrees, at 25 degrees, you can go from 20 to like 29 degrees. It's a wide angle. If you have anything in Scorpio or Taurus, or even in Leo and Aquarius, you have that. This is affecting you. But if you have Aries stuff, this in general brings up wounds. But here with Venus involved with this, there is a wanting to take a proactive action in relating to the wounds in the Aries part of your chart, or if you have Aries planets, to deal with these wounds that have been exposed and have been coming up for the last year, especially in the last 6 months, because of certain types of planetary aspects that have been hitting Chiron and Aries and more. Jupiter's eventually going to hit it way down the line. Mars is going to come there at the end of the month and have the thing. So there's a chapter in the story here. So wounds are exposed, but there is the Aries fire that wants to do something about healing those wounds. You have the disillusionment of Mars Neptune that can be part of this. At the same time, there's a conduit to a divine type of healing and insight. So you could, now that I told you those two things, being proactive about taking care of your wounds in the Aries part of your chart, and using Mars Neptune in a creative, healing, higher love, higher frequency, divine way of dealing with this purging and ending, you see the two ways that you can deal with this eclipse. The other sides I've mentioned, it can be brutal, cutting, mean, eliminating. So you know what tools you can use here, okay? And if you don't know how to deal with this stuff and you need help with it, you can always contact me. I'll do a reading for you. I have my rates. If you don't even know where Aries is or Scorpio is in your chart, I'll email you a chart for free. Now, here's the next thing, and I'm going to end this, here's another chart right here. Okay, and you can see both right there. It's going to be hard here, but I'm going to put this chart up. This is May 15th, right here, May 15th, 2003. Okay, 18 and a half years ago. Why am I showing you the lunar eclipse that happened in Scorpio 18 and a half years ago? Well, because it's connected to this eclipse now. Here's the moon at 24 degrees Scorpio. And the nodes here at 29. Here is the sun at 24. Here. And ALGOL was right there with this. Here, and interestingly enough, the ruler of this moon is actually Mars. It was just in Aquarius, but it was conjunct Neptune. Just like the other chart I've showed you here, this chart, 2022, here's Mars, Neptune, conjunct in Pisces. Here is the moon at 25 degrees, 2022. Go back. Let's go back. 2003, 24 degrees. This eclipse is happening, right? Mars, Neptune conjunction. Venus was even in Aries. If you can remember and go back to 2002 and 2003, this is when the eclipses were last happening at South Node Scorpio, North Node Taurus, you can make the connections. If you are specifically really feeling this, if you're a Scorpio rising, Taurus rising especially, if you're Aquarius rising and Leo rising, you can be feeling this too, especially if you're at the degrees that I mentioned, 21, 22, all the way to 26, 28. If you're that, you're feeling it. Get a hold of me. Let's have a session. I will do the best I can to help you. But I know, and I just want to acknowledge you out there, that this is the end of a story. And it sometimes ends in one event. Sometimes it's been building and it's been a series of endings. Sometimes, in this case, 6 months from now, when we have more the eclipses again in Scorpio, Taurus, there's another chapter to the story. If this is hitting you by degree, 24, 25, I'll go back to the other chart here of the current eclipse, okay? If you're close to this degree of 25 there and it's hitting you, get a hold of me. You're watching this right before, during, the day after, don't do anything wild and crazy. If you notice anything happening to you that way, that's intense, find your chill space. Find a place to take care of yourself. Because there's other people out there that are going to be riding this energy and waving this intensity and doing some shadow stuff that's just not cool. So for those of you that are like, have the tools and have the awareness of putting yourself in the position of waiting things out, do it. Don't do any rituals. Don't make any special astrological magic stuff, unless you really know what you're doing. But I wouldn't do anything. Chill out. Take care of yourself. After this is done and we get after this week, we got a rambunctious month ahead where then the changes keep happening and you're going to see it in front of you. Then you can have apply your tools, apply those mundane things of what you have to do in the world. But at this moment, during an eclipse like this, you want to be chill. On that note, that's a quick video. I want to send the intention and make this video and this moment a ritual. Any of you stranger out there watching this, are going through fundamental change. The tears flow. There's wounds that have surfaced. You might feel alone, or no one might not understand. I'm going to tell you, I understand. I might not know your full situation, but I know as a human being, as a spiritual person, as an intuitive, as an astrologer, I'm acknowledging you. I'm sending you the light from my heart, the courage in my heart, the vision of what can be for you and what will be for you. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next video.